What is going on, everybody? SpykerZ Xenith here. Today, I just want to go over a quick, I suppose, informational tutorial on how to find out what your system specs are. Now, if you're playing on PC, unlike a console, you do have system specifications to worry about. Your processor, your RAM, how much hard drive space you have. Your video card's very important with gaming. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to find all of these things out. I'm going to pick a game, maybe Grand Theft Auto 5, because I believe that game has all the system requirements listed here on Steam. Let's say you want to buy GTA 5. So you go down here, I'll scroll all the way down until you see it, system requirements right here. Go to read more so we can see what's going on. We basically, in order to play this game at all, we need to meet the minimum specs for this game. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and go up the top line. We need Windows 8.1 64-bit, Windows 8 64-bit, basically, or even Windows 10 will run this game. We know that because we're running it now. So we need at least 64-bit Windows. That's what it's telling us. Now, the reason it has 64-bit is because the memory requirement for the game is 4 gigabytes. If you had a 32-bit version of Windows, you would only be able to see 3,084 megabytes of memory or 3 gigabytes of memory. That's all 32-bit Windows can support. So that's why you need to have 64-bit operating system, just in case anyone was curious. But to find that out, we need to go to our This PC or My Computer or anything like that. We're going to right-click on that and go to Properties. And we're looking right here at our operating system, which is 64-bit operating system, so we're good there. Then next we can see in the same screen here within the system, we can see what type of processor we have. We need at least a Core 2 quad or a Phenom 9850. I've got an 8-core 8150. Now, if you're not computer savvy, you're going to go 8150, 9850. Oh my god, I can't run the game. It's not the same processor. Well, there's a way around that. There's a website called CPU Boss, and it also has a sister site called GPU Boss. I'm not affiliated with the site. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I'm just putting this up there for informational purposes. Basically, we can type in Phenom, because we're trying to figure out if our processor is equivalent to that or better. We're going to go with a 9850 here. Phenom X4 9850, that's what we're looking at. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to do CPU 2 is going to be our current processor, which is an FX 8150. If I can type, Black Edition, that's what we have, and we're going to compare the two. Now we're going to scroll down here just a little bit. You can see the benchmarks here for performance. Now, not all processors will have this performance benchmarking. Not all of them will. See the 8150 is definitely faster than the Phenom in performance. And again, single core performance is the same story. But basically, you want to look at the single core performance for gaming more than anything else. All this other stuff really doesn't matter so much. Value doesn't matter so much. But you can see down here, if you scroll down the differences, typical lower power consumption. But you can see 50% lower. It's got all this information down here. Sometimes they're labeled differently. The hierarchy is different. Much higher clock speed, because this is the processor we have. This is the processor we're comparing it to. So basically, it's a better processor. 3.6 versus 2.5 gigahertz. 8 megabytes of cache versus 2 megabytes. I mean, this is definitely a better processor that we have. So that's just something to look at. We're going to go ahead and jump down to the next category here. And that is going to be our memory. 4 gigabytes of RAM required. Now, we have 16 gigabytes, so we're good there. If you had 4 gigabytes or less, you may be able to run the game. It depends on how the manufacturer of the game developed it. It's not likely, but you could try. For the video here, we're going to go down to the graphics. This is super important. Now, we're going to start off with the DirectX version first, I think. It says DX10. That's DirectX 10, 10.1, or 11. To figure out which version you have installed, just type in your search down here, DXDIAG. And as long as you have DirectX installed, you will have this. DirectX Diagnostic. This will even tell you your processor. But basically, you want to look at the version. DirectX version 12. So we're good there. It's not even a problem. It'll tell you how much RAM you have in megabytes. Page file used. Page file is if you don't have enough RAM in your computer, your PC will allocate a paging file, which basically uses your hard drive space as memory. It's going to be a lot slower. And some applications and games, they just won't care that that's being allocated. It'll say you don't have enough RAM. There aren't very many that actually check that, but if they did, they would tell you that you don't have enough RAM anyway, even though you have paging file available. So we're going to go ahead and get out of there. That just shows you what kind of DirectX you have. We're going to go ahead and look at the video cards now. We need an AMD HD 4870 1 gigabyte. Now, we can also go to the other side of things. We need to figure out what kind of video card we have. So we're going to go into the device manager, which is right here in our system. Hit device manager. And then we're going to go into display adapters. And I have an AMD R9 390. This is a 390X, I know that. But we're just going to look at the 390. We're just going to Google that. That's the easiest one to find, or search for it rather on GPU Boss. So we know we have an R9 390 series. We're going to open up our browser again and go to GPU Boss. And again, not affiliated with the site in any way, shape, or form. I'm not being sponsored. I'm just showing it because it's the simplest site that I found to compare. And this is going to be a rough guesstimate. The site's not going to be 100% accurate all the time. Let's type in like 9800 GT. So 9800. Let's just go with the 9800. This is what they have. And this is probably why you should type it. And this is an R9 390 video card. Let's compare. Alright, there we go. Now we get a better result. 7.9 out of 10, 6.8 out of 10. That doesn't really matter so much. Again, we're going to go down here and check out the performance. The GT 9800 is what we're comparing here. It's the R9 390 is faster than that. Just got to keep that in mind. The highlighted one is just the most that are better performing of the ones that are showing here on the benchmark. Again, we're going down here to where we're checking out the differences here. Much better pass mark score for our R9 390. We're looking at more memory on the R9 versus 512. I mean, again, we're killing the system requirements for this game at this point. So there's that. That's how you check out the video cards. Just gives you an idea. So we're going to go over here, close that out. We're looking for our hard drive space now. If you don't have enough hard drive space, you cannot install the game. Now, we can go back to this menu right here. And actually, we can just type in this PC. I'm running Windows 10 again. You can see that if I were to install this on Drive C, I would not have enough space to install. It requires 65 gigabytes. But also remember, just because you have 65 gigabytes free does not mean you can install and then update the game. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want way more than that. You're going to want at least like probably 80 gigs or more. So I'd have to install it on my F drive here because my games drive is pretty well full. The game's already installed on there. I've got SSDs running and everything. So, you know, the price versus, you know, storage space and such. Anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful to you. If this helped anyone at all, give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.